Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in to the next episode of Beer and Real Estate, the show where two guys talk about two of their favorite things, beer and real estate. I'm Ryan Wall.
And I'm Brian Colquitt. And on this week's episode of Beer and Real Estate, the title is Death of the Brand, Part 2. So Ryan, let's kind of give a little bit of a recap.
All right.
Death of the Brand, Part 1.
Okay.
Had a little bit of controversy behind it, a lot of topics and things like that.
Yeah. Well,
where are we at now?
Okay. Well, we'll back up a little bit. Okay. So, Death of the Brand was an exciting video. We had a lot of cool information, cool stuff we want to put out there. We put it online, had a lot of views right away, a lot of good feedback, but then we had some other feedback that kind of took the air out of my balloon, if you would, left my face kind of red, and so, but we just decided to come back in and talk about it because let's be real. I'm going to go ahead and start saying it like this, everybody has different opinions on different things, and
big time.
The point of that episode was branding. So I want to bring it back in and let's talk about branding, because not the misunderstanding. Branding can be done in so many different ways.
Yeah.
The goal of what we want to put out there is branding is individuality now. It can be company wide, but it's also individual. And if you're going to brand, if you're not going to brand, you're not going to be recession proof.
Correct. Yeah. And I do. Like I said, kind of back it up. I definitely think some of our points and topics were maybe taking off point a little bit or taking in the wrong direction. But when it comes down to it, what we're trying to say, what we're trying to educate is that, like you just said, branding is very important in today's world of marketing and real estate, really to whatever you're doing.
Any marketing.
I mean, you think about, Gary Vee, Chuck V.
Chuck V, his uncle. He doesn't do a great job of branding, but Gary does an awesome job.
Everybody has their own brand. So it's setting yourself apart and kind of exposing yourself as far as your own individuality. Yeah. So kind of exposing yourself that way. So kind of diving into that again, let's go back and talk about branding on an agent's, like individual agent, why it's important. Let's kind of talk about that and maybe just kind of reword things a little bit differently. Yeah. And just kind of point out some different characteristics we're talking about.
Okay, yeah. All right, so individual agent. You have to set yourself apart. In a sea of firms, boutique, large, you have to set yourself apart from the other agent. You can't depend on somebody to make that name for you. If you're working for a company that has 10 people or a company that has 100 people, they can't personally brand every single one of those people. There's a large brand there, and if you're going out into the world and saying, here's my brand, whether it's boutique or firm or franchise or whatever it is, if you go out into this world, what's going to stick out is the face in front of that brand in a sea of faces, right?
Exactly. Yep.
Okay. I mean, you've created a brand for yourself. People know who you are. People know when you come.
Is it a good or bad?
I don't know. I mean, depends.
You guys be the judge.
I know. Don't base it on Death of the Brand 1.
Yeah.
But
they can't see it right now, so you're good.
That's true. It is. Anyway, so talking about that. So how does an agent individually brand themselves? Let's start with social media, online presence. Okay. There's good and there's bad online presence. It all builds to your brand. There's agents out there that we see doing things that's like, is that really what you want to associate with your brand? Yeah. Is that what you want people to see you as?
Exactly. Yeah. Well, it's also too is like, who are you trying to attract? What type of consumer? Who are you trying to do business with as an individual? It just kind of putting yourself out there, because again, we see it all the time. They say take Facebook. Mm-hmm. Everybody's got a personal page, they got a business page. How much of your personal side do you want to put out there? Because I just feel like in today's world, everything is like everybody can see everything about you. So like you talk about, I've seen some folks out there and they put some things up on their, Facebook posts up, and I'm just like, is that good? Is that smart? It draws likes and attention, but is it helping you as a business, from a business side?
Okay, I'm going to say something real quick. There's no more personal in business. I don't care what you say. You can have your business page, you can have your personal page.
I know that's what I'm trying to say. I agree with you.
Do you think anybody that comes on and sees Brian Colquitt, his personal page, what do you do? They know exactly what you do.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And so maybe part of that is what you're saying there is it's a personal issue. It's just like, at what point do you say to somebody, hey, it's time to grow up?
well, here's what I think it comes down to is that take myself for instance.
Mm-hmm.
Because whatever I put out there, when people come to do business with me, this is who I am. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I'm not putting on a fake character over here just on my business side.
Yeah.
I come from a previous background where you see that sometimes.
Yeah.
You got an individual outside of work they're this way, but inside of work for HR corporate reasons they're smiley face, just a fake individual. That's not me. So I think that's kind of what you're speaking of is like, are you putting on is your true colors coming out in the wrong way and kind of turning away clients and potential business and even helping your business grow in the real estate world.
Exactly right. And then if you could break it down to a personal level, like what are you trying to accomplish? Are you trying to create a business? Are you trying to create something big?
Or you're trying to get some of your high school buddies to laugh at stuff and things like that.
Exactly. And then at that point, what point does that affect in your pocket? At what point does that affect your business, what you're trying to build? And so social media is huge in a way. It could be good or bad. I mean, and let's be real. Everybody has different opinions.
Yeah.
So it's a matter as long as you're fine with what you're putting out there
Exactly.
and you're fine with what it's going to bring. I mean, some people have a problem with this, with me drinking beer on beer and real estate. I mean, if I didn't, I'd kind of screw the brand of beer and real estate.
And
so we
have
have
like water and real estate.
it didn't have the same feel to it. But anyway, we'll just make sure water cooler is awesome. Let's make sure nobody takes that the wrong way.
That's true.
We love you, Chris.
Yes.
But anyway,
And Jimmy.
and Jimmy.
Yes.
Oh yeah, definitely
Yes.
Jimmy. But no, exactly. So I mean, it's what you put out there that when you sit down at night, and you see that, you think, okay, this is the brand I want to associate. This is the brand that I'm willing to trust the biggest financial decision of my life with.
Correct.
Buying or selling a home.
All right. So I feel like we're dug into branding.
Yeah.
What about in particular you just kind of ended it with there is just real estate. So branding, individual agent, and again, kind of backing up to Death of the Brand Part 1, we talked about, a firm representing an agent and kind of marketing that way to where now it's more like what is the individual agent doing themselves to market and grow their business and get listing, get the listings they have to expose and help sell their clients' homes and things like that.
Right.
Where do you see that now on an individual basis with just real estate for agents
compared
to the firms?
Okay, I feel like
even with us, even boutique firms, like you said. I mean, it's still. I mean, we're a boutique firm.
Yeah.
But every single agent in this office has their own unique individual brand.
Right, and they all have their own unique individual brand. That kind of goes off of the personality of what they're doing, right?
Yeah, exactly.
But they all have the same bones.
Yeah.
Any successful business has the same bones.
Yep.
And so that's another thing where this day and age, no matter what you work for, you're going to have the same. You're going to be looking at the same thing. You're going to need a CRM. You're going to need the technology. You're going to need something that provides constant visibility to your client base, right?
Well, I'm gonna speak on this a little bit too
Okay.
because I don't say it kind of goes off topic, but
Yeah.
you just kind of speak about it. Is you mentioned CRMs, you mentioned Facebook, we mentioned basically it comes down to technology.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of the day, it's branding also is beyond just the technology that you're using. It's also your how do you interact with people? It's just like social skills, things like that.
Yeah.
I feel like it always goes back to how are you branding yourself, meaning what systems are you using? What Facebook posts are you putting out? What are you doing on Instagram? What are you doing on YouTube? But what about how are you interacting with your clients? How are you representing yourself in that way? To where like branding yourself is like you said, what is it? Chris mentioned it the other week is, what is it? Owner Amazon said, he says that your brand is what people say about you when you're not in the room.
Yeah, you're exactly right.
They're not talking about, well, hey, he uses Facebook in this way. No, they're saying that this is who he is. This is his character. This is how he presents himself at all hours of the day. It's not just a business. This is who he is. So this is Ryan. This is Brian. This is who they are.
Yeah.
So I think it's more than just the CRM that you speak of. I think it's also what are you doing day in and day out to represent yourself in the best interest of your business, plus in the best interest of your clients and your consumers and things like that.
Yeah.
Because I feel like there's been so much talk here recently about, well, this technology is coming out, or this you can run this Facebook ad, or you can do this YouTube video. Well, if you're doing all those things, but you still, at the end of the day, have no personality and you suck at speaking to people, at the end of the day, you're still not going to get any business. You're screwed.
Yeah.
What is that technology?
Brand
That
suffering.
technology is not helping you grow your business alone. You got to have a lot more than just that technology behind you.
You're right.
You know,
You're exactly right. Yeah, all that adds together, and your personality comes out in honestly. Let's go back to your personality comes out in those Facebook posts. Your personality comes out in that YouTube video. Your personality comes out, and if you're doing your marketing calendar right, when you're reaching out and you're making sure that you're touching base with your client database. If you come across, not interested in their life, not sincere, that it's just like, hey, when am I going to get in that next piece of business to you? You never create that personal relationship. That is what makes people successful and really embodies a brand.
Yeah.
The culture. Involves culture.
Again, we've talked about that a lot on this episode too. Is culture and kind of how you represent yourself that way.
Yeah.
So going back a little bit, because I do want to speak it on even again, like we did last episode, maybe kind of reword some things.
Okay.
Where do you see how is what we're talking about right now even more important today than where it was? I always say it 10 years ago. Why is everything we're just talking about? Why is it even more important? Why is it going to be even further important in a couple of years?
Everything has become more personal. And I'm gonna be stretching out in a weird direction here, but everything's become more personal. Facebook, more about people that you went to high school with.
Yeah,
people, your extended family. The ins and outs of their everyday life. Mm-hmm. That 10 years ago you didn't. Yeah. Going to a class reunion 10 years ago and going now, you kind of know already when you walk in the door now, like, well, I know that person's been out there. I've seen it. Yeah. I know that person. 10 years ago you walk in, you're
That's
like.
That's why most of them are dead now. Class reunion, won't need that. I know everything about you.
Not my class. No, when you walk in, you go, you're not surprised to find out that this person's the CEO of a company because you've seen that build up. You see them have that personality.
Yeah.
So that didn't exist back then. Back then it was whoever had enough money to get into the paper and be able to have the page in the paper. Whoever was on the front page of that local book that sells real estate. Yeah. It was just whoever's face that they saw the most. And now they see everybody's face the most.
Yeah.
So it's a matter of personality and what draws people in. I mean, in real estate coaching, when I'm coaching students, it's like, they get, some of them get so caught into this whole, like, what should I do next here? And it's just like, if you're doing a video, you don't have to do a market update. I promise you. Yeah. Do one, but don't make it that boring. Nobody wants to see your flow graph over here. It's just like, be real. Let them see who you are. But at the same time, make sure that on that same social media platform, they see you out on the soccer fields with your kids. Make sure they're seeing your life. Make sure they see that Christmas morning and the happiness. And it's just like, wow, this is awesome. And just like you're seeing their personal life and you're building that relationship. They got that new puppy. You saw it. Call and check on the new puppy. Call and check on their kid out of the first day of kindergarten. See how it went for them.
Yeah. It's breaking that barrier in between business and personal.
It's building a relationship, and in the last 10 years, that was not possible like it is now. It was possible, but I mean, the ease of it now is so much possible to create relationship, which in my opinion is the best part of real estate, is creating relationships. When you walk out and somebody knows you in a restaurant, it's not that awkward, like, hey, you were my agent. It's more like, hey, there's Ryan, blah, 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 and they're telling me about their kids. And kids
your beer.
So that's the best part.
Yeah. And I guess, too, is when I look at, too, and again, kind of what I feel like we're trying to get across, not point, just opinion that we're trying to get across in that first episode, too, was that 10 years ago, like you spoke about the newspaper and things like that, it also comes down to the cost of advertising today compared to back then.
Yeah.
I mean, print ads have always been pretty damn expensive.
Yeah.
You look at it now, I mean, now you got Facebook, and even you don't have to do an ad. I mean, literally what you're just talking about, I mean, posting grabbing my phone and doing a quick video about a house that costs $0 to where you didn't have that. So I think that's what I'm speaking of as far as 10 years ago, you didn't have that technology. And maybe it's longer than 10 years.
Print, let's talk Super Bowl ads, stuff that it was just like, the money that you'd never be able to do. The bricks and mortar building with the huge sign on the highway. Yeah. I mean, it's just, that was, a way to brand yourself whenever YouTube and Facebook and all those were not viable options. Like we said, MySpace was around and nobody was really using that for real estate,
No. And well, like I said, I mean, I just feel like back then you relied more on a corporation or a firm, and it's not just real estate.
Because they had the money.
Because they had the money. And it's not just real estate related, it's any corporation, any big firm. That's why they work there, because, look, hey, to expose myself to thousands of people, there is no way possible that I'm going to be able to make a living because I don't have that money to advertise and things like that.
Right.
Now you do with, you with the simple free post on Facebook or a free post on Instagram with a video or listing, or
Yeah.
you have that now. So I feel like that has been the game changer, is the simple technology.
Yeah.
You know, and again, it's by using those things, it's able to get your personality out
Yeah.
there. I about messed that up. Did you hear that? I kind of
Yeah.
pulled a Ron as a president.
I would have called it on the spot.
Yeah. Whoa.
But anyway, so going back, even going, like we talked about large franchises and firms, some of them are pushing brand yourself as well. They're pushing the same concept that we
all
talked
want that.
about.
Yeah,
you
they do.
brand yourself, make yourself a
Yeah, I
brand.
don't think none of them saying don't brand yourself.
Right.
I don't think there's none of them saying nope, you're going too far.
Yeah,
You got to remember to think about us first.
Yeah.
No, at the end of the day, everybody wants their individual agent to represent themselves and grow their business.
because if they're doing it, they're going to be more successful.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You're sitting in a cubicle waiting for a phone to call just because you have so and so's name in front of you.
Yeah,
This just ain't going to happen.
It's just
Yeah.
it's different. But again, even on a boutique firm like ourselves, we still see that throughout smaller firms and things like that. As far as, we're not saying that it's just us, that hey, just because you're in a boutique firm and because of our culture, we're going to help you sell more homes, or we're going to help you help more clients and things like that. No, every individual agent. I'm about to say the bad word. Each individual agent.
This show is PG, my friend, or PG-13.
I actually think I said it earlier in the episode, but you didn't catch it. But it's okay.
Oh no!
But each individual agent.
One rule.
You ain't even gonna let me finish.
I don't know if I should.
Sorry. Audience, if you're offended by cuss words,
Oh Lord!
just wait.
Don't listen to the Chris Smith episode.
Yeah, exactly. Or Gary Vee.
Where's Uncle Chuck? He's the worst.
But we still rely and we still coach all of our individual agents to go out and brand yourself. We don't require them to go by our firm's code of whatever it is.
Right.
We still say, hey, go out and create your own brand. You are your own individual person. Go out and build your business the way you want to build it.
Yeah.
We're going to set some guidelines as far as, hey, don't cross or don't tiptoe these certain lines, and
Don't do that. Yeah.
learn from our mistakes and things
Yeah.
like that. But
Don't say names.
But you know what I mean?
Yeah,
So I mean, it's
100%.
just, I just feel like that's the point that I'm trying to make, is that if you're an agent out there, if you're new, you're experienced, know that there are so many ways, because I see this a lot, and we're both coaching and things like that.
Yeah.
I feel like there's always somebody there looking for that next. Well, what can you do for me? It may
Yeah.
not be that. New agents come in and say, all right, well, how are you going to help me grow my business? Basically, what we're going to do is we're going to give you ideas that help you brand yourself and grow your own business. Because at the end of the day,
What we're going to do is help you actually create a business.
yeah, I don't think the name that's on my business card, as far as the logo, is going to make a huge difference.
Mm-mm. No.
It doesn't. Okay.
It doesn't.
Let me back up.
Okay, no. It does not. I'm going to say a word. It does not make a difference if you're doing what you're supposed to be doing.
Correct.
It's what they provide individually to you as an agent that makes
there's
a
a lot more
difference.
that goes into it. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It doesn't. But you know what I mean.
We have PTSD, guys.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I mean it, but I don't.
So beyond branding, what do you feel like as far as also that you see now that's different besides just branding from today's world to where that you might see the firms and corporations that they relied on 10 years ago that are not now, besides branding?
Besides branding, I think that they relied on. I already said this, but technology. They relied on technology, websites, CRM.
Okay.
Any kind of follow up system. Again, visibility. I mean, at that time, papers. So it's just like, if I'm going to get my property shown, if I want 123, ABC Street put out there, it's got to get into this paper.
Yeah.
And blank franchise, ABC franchise has that spot in the paper that I can afford. They can afford it. They're going to pop it in there.
Yep.
But then
cost you more money to take them out.
Right, exactly. And so now we're looking at, we have a population of the city of 30,000 people. How many of these 30,000 people see this paper? Let's say it's this percentage of it. And so this goes in there, and you have this percentage of people seeing your property, talking about it. That's how it spreads. And the same thing with any kind of real estate advertisement pamphlet,
Yeah.
But now, come on. I mean, I hate that. Facebook sounds so cliche. We say it all the time. But, I mean, Facebook, you put it out there, sponsored ad. All right, I'm going to just put $50 on this. What's $50 going to buy you in the newspaper? Nothing.
Oh yeah. No.
You know, and so I mean, maybe
I mean, no offense. Not even just newspaper. How many phone? I've recently got a phone call about advertising for local at a rival high school, which I'm just putting this out there.
that was a bad idea anyway.
It's not. Yeah, not doing that.
You bleed red.
But it was like, yeah, exactly. But it's like $300-400 to advertise. I'm like, huh?
No.
No.
That'd get me 2 months of Facebook.
Yeah.
But no. So we put $50 on the Facebook ad for, let's just say $100. Let's say, that's a quarter of what they just asked you, right?
Yeah.
Quarter, and then all of a sudden we have 225 leads.
Yeah.
And how did you get 225 calls off that newspaper, off of this?
Yeah.
Whatever. No, you're not. And that's just off of 1 week of advertising.
Correct.
Put $400 on it, a month of advertising. All of a sudden you're going through 1,000 leads.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and it's just like, that it's just at your fingertips. You don't need it anymore. It's no longer I'm talking about the paper. It's no longer, it's no longer a viable source. I'm not saying print is dead, because I don't believe print's dead. I believe that any out-of-the-box idea that you can put in there can provide any kind of advertisement. You just have to be creative and out-of-the-box thinking.
Correct. Well, and then even on a bigger scale, we talk about systems that you can put in place besides just, you do mention Facebook, but I don't think Facebook is cliche, because Facebook is Google. I mean, Facebook is the internet. Facebook and Google are literally over the internet. I mean, everybody.
And what did we read today? I'm going to screw this all up. Google and Facebook ad revenue
1/5
makes up 1/5 of the global ad revenue.
Correct. Yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot. Yeah,
that's a lot
of money.
Global. Yeah,
and that's one of those things too. I will say that Gary Vee talked about a lot. If you're one of those agents and you're not taking advantage of that now, 3 or 4 years, you're going to be in trouble. So I think 3 or 4 years we're going to see that price change to where you mentioned that $50 ad now. In 3 or 4 years, that's probably going to be quadruple, if not more. What that $150 got you
something
today.
to think about. You're right. Something to think about.
So it's things constantly changing, but
and it's already changing. Let's just say 2 years ago, do you feel like you need to put more money into Facebook than you did 2 years ago?
Oh yeah,
yeah. I mean, you feel it already. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
pull it out. So it's coming. They're just it's a slow build. They're not ripping it off fast. They're just slowly ripping that. And then it's at the end. 3 years from now.
Well, you spoke of it, and again, I keep going back to Gary Vee. A lot of other people speak of it as well. Is that think about commercials. Back in the 60s, 70s, 80s, and things like that, you wanted to be in a commercial. You wanted to have that commercial advertising spot, and you would pay whatever money you needed to pay for to get that spot.
Yeah.
How many commercials do you watch now?
It's no.
Between Netflix doesn't have them.
I just cut my cable.
Okay, that's.
I was one of the last people to do it, but I just cut my cable.
Well, so for the person that has it, but you got, what's the first thing if you do have cable, unlike some people, if you're not Netflix and you're watching, as soon as that commercial comes on,
oh dude,
let me check Facebook.
I get pissed.
All my shows back on.
I get pissed on Hulu. I literally all the commercials I watch a week are probably 2, and it infuriates me. It's just like it's annoying.
Yeah, so it's just one of those things. That's just like I feel like the attention is going from. I agree, print ads and everything are still there, but the attention is being pulled away from. I don't have my phone in front of me. The device. What can I get on this device? And most of it is social media marketing and things like that.
Yeah.
So that is like if you're not spending your money and putting your focus in that as far as helping growing your business and branding yourself in those arenas, I guess, you're going to be left behind. And I feel like no matter what technology or what new comes out there, that is still going to be for the next decade at least. It still needs. I don't care what technology you got. That is that is the only one. That to me, in a lot of ways, there's only a couple of things you need, and Facebook by far is one of them.
Oh yeah, by far. I mean, I would. Yeah, I would
even throw Instagram, social media.
Yeah, I understand social media. Yeah, and but if you really want to back it down, I mean, Instagram's great. Facebook's great. Any agent coming in, if you want to walk in with zero budget, let's be real. Let's say you walk into my office, you have $0 in your pocket. I just spend it all joining the board. I spend it all on MLS. I just spend it all with the real estate commission. You have $0 in your pocket. You know what you're going to do is you're going to go to Facebook and you're going to post just a status on Facebook, and you're going to. And as soon as you do that, your first hit, nobody knows you're a real estate agent. You're immediately going to get something from it.
Exactly.
So why?
Because you got to understand why that helps. Is because Facebook wants you to kind of get attention. They want some
visibility,
visibility, and things like that. So
Facebook, social media, Instagram. All right, I'm going to throw some others. You're going to hate me. Remember when you first started, and you first started your Instagram. You were so excited, and you came in the first week. You're like, they're all 13.
You don't got to do that on beer and real estate.
It's just like when you're learning it, you're like, I can't. They're all 13 years old.
No, but you're right on that. Is that just think about, and that's the short period of time. Think about the growth is because everybody was saying, hey, social media. So you hop on Instagram, and I would do some posts and things like that, and you have people that's not even in 6th grade saying, hey, I want to, that's a nice.
That's
house.
true. That's a reach. Yeah,
great. But now just the growth in the last 12 months, Instagram has grown tremendously to where it's I don't know if it's part of Facebook buying it or whatnot, and they're kind of redoing some things. But Instagram was a huge player in the game.
And think about the customer base you're going to have in 10 years. This is future business, my man. And
when I graduate high school, I am buying a house.
From Brian Colquitt. No, but seriously though, you mastered that. You came in through Facebook. You mastered Instagram, and now you're selling homes that are 3 times the average market sales price. Through Instagram. I mean, it's just it's amazing.
This is one of those things. It's hard.
I'm not trying to toot your horn out here. I know it embarrasses you, but
appreciate it. But no, I know what you're saying. It's just like it's hard to believe that your first advertising or marketing focus when you get a $500,000 listing is, all right, I got to do my Facebook and Instagram post.
I'm going to put and because and think about
then comes your postcards and print ads.
Your old school. I need to mail this out, snail mail. But I mean, think about it and then you hear people's mindset on social media that don't use it for marketing, and they say, oh well, social media, you need to stay off that. It's a waste of time. It's for the kids. It's not for work. I mean. It's just how you, and it can be, don't get me wrong, it can be huge. A lot of unsuccessful agents are addicted to social media to the point that they waste so much time on it. Exactly, they're not using it. Exactly. But you know how to use it. I mean, it might be the biggest tool of your business, in your arsenal.
Definitely. I think if you're in any form of business and you're not on social media, you're not helping yourself and you're not helping your clients and consumers that you're trying.
That's another point. It's if you're ignoring it, it's not like you people just say you're hurting yourself. No, you're hurting your client. The visibility. I mean, what's your fiduciary duty to them? And you're not getting it out. You're not getting it out there. They're paying you what for you to do what? No, that's.
And I want to go back to because we talked about earlier as far as branding, as far as what all branding means, and speak about online. I see this a lot, and this also comes from it's almost one of those things that's frustrating in a lot of ways. Is I even go down to branding. Even is think about the photos and the listing photos of how you present your clients' homes. That's a big thing for me. I feel like that's a brand. The way I look at it is all right, do I want to make sure I have the best photos out there possible, or do I want to go the cheap route and say, all right, you know what, I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna expose this. I'm gonna market this product this way versus I'm not going to put it out there and make it look the best.
Right.
To me, that's branding.
Professional photography is branding.
That's perception as far as, all right, is this guy really going all out and representing his clients in the best way to make sure that he is making this product?
Is he giving us a premium product?
Exactly. And you talk about that in the first episode. Our products are homes. So is he really presenting this product, making sure that it looks the absolute best on all platforms? Or is he kind of going the lower end route and kind of cut some corners?
Yeah. See, like you talk about the Amazon experience, anything that, when you go on to this home website, are you wanting to see a dark, dingy picture that has, that you took driving by the house with your window half up on the way by?
Yeah.
You'll go in there with your big dome in the kitchen, in the bathroom mirror.
Well, the thing of it this way, I compare it, it's almost like Craigslist.
Yeah.
I feel like when I see those, that's the first thing I think of is you might as well just mark it on Craigslist.
Yeah.
You might as well just say, hey guys, come buy this house. I've got it on Craigslist. Compared to, you're talking about the Amazon experience. I feel like Craigslist and Amazon is kind of how do you want to market that? How do you want to try to sell that product?
I like that.
Now.
So I like that.
It's totally, because when I hear Craigslist now, I'm like, all right, we're meeting in a public place. We'll meet me at Walmart.
I know. I want to meet you at the sheriff department's parking lot.
I need some ID. I need a social. I need everything. I'll buy this from you. It just doesn't. To me, it's just one of those things that just irritates me as far as how important anything and everything you do, branding wise, impacts your business. And
Okay. I can already see this. Death of the Brand Part 3. Look, we're sorry, Craigslist. We didn't mean it. You took it all wrong, Craigslist.
Yeah, we're gonna have an email tomorrow.
Craig was upset. They'll be trashing my list.
Yeah. The next couple days, I'm getting a notification. I want to open this. We're getting a lot of trouble about stuff. It's okay.
Yeah, well, you know what? Like I love feedback, and I tell you, I love feedback because one, we'll go off of the branding for a second. Go over here. Like I love agents I work with. I value my partnerships. You know, and so somebody comes in and says, you know, I felt like this was not fair. Then I want to be able to have communication. Gary said it best. Communication's key. If there's, you know, and Gary, we brought him up a lot of this episode. Is he sponsoring this episode?
I don't know.
Oh, well, if you want to, Gary, holler.
Yeah.
But you know what I'm saying is like, you know, he said some stuff.
Hold on, back up. You know when you get Gary?
How?
Wine.
Wine in real estate? It doesn't have the same ring.
Hey, he gets Gary V.
We still drink.
He gets
Gary.
his attention.
Okay.
All right.
We'll talk about it. Anyway,
yeah.
But you know, again, it's just like I'm not out to trash anything or make enemies. It's like I love open conversation. And so, something taken the wrong way, I'm glad we get the opportunity to go a little more in depth and then talk more about branding.
Yeah.
And then drink more beer. It's a win-win.
Yeah. Well, when you both say it, is like we've got a lot of friends in this business.
A ton.
You know, and I feel like the last episode kind of things were. At the end of the day, things were taken in the wrong way.
Sure.
Okay. And they were. And I just feel like it comes from a passionate side from us as far as knowing that, no offense to the brand or the brand, the firm that we work for, that we represent. But at the end of the day, I'm my business.
Yeah.
That's the way I feel like I represent myself.
Yeah,
so I represent. I don't go to my clients and say, hey. Or not even say go to my clients, but when I'm representing my clients, when I wake up every day and I start my day, throughout the entire day, I'm thinking about myself and my clients and representing them in the best capacity that I can.
Exactly.
It's not, at the end of the day, I mean, I know if I do that, the firm that's behind me is going to be successful as well. Right. That's what I focus on. But my first focus is me and my clients and representing myself that way. And I just feel like there's just so many other views on things as far as that they get so hooked that and it's almost like they think of I'm not gonna say names and things like that, but you just think of things where they throw out this fishing line and say, hey, we'll do this and we're gonna reel you in and kind of get you to come over here. Mm-hmm. At the end of the day, I don't care what you're gonna give me. We're gonna give you this, and this. Or are you going to use it? How are you going to, is it
exactly?
Gonna help? There's so much stuff that we can give. And at the thing, everything is at our fingertips right now. But it's like, how often do we see that no matter what you give somebody, they're not going to use it?
Yeah, give men a fish, teach men a fish. You're right. It's
you still got to show people. And like I said, at the end of the day, I don't look at technology. I don't look at anything else. There's so much more that helps brand and grow any business than just the firm behind them and things like that. I just feel like there's so much more that you got to learn and know.
You're right. You're exactly right.
I kind of got lost on that a second.
I
had something that I want to say.
I'm trying to carry you through this, Brian. I don't know where to go.
I did have something I want to say, but I feel like I was going to get in trouble, so I didn't want to say that.
Well, I think it's the perfect time to end this episode.
Okay.
I'm out of beer.
I was say that.
I'm out of beer.
I'm going to catch up.
All right. So, hey, guys, thanks for tuning back in. We love just being real, talking with you.
Hope we kind of change your minds a little bit on some things and kind of hopefully open your eyes a little bit as far as branding goes as well.
Exactly. And look, if you have any comments, leave them below in the comment box. We'd love to hear any suggestions for future episodes. Otherwise, that's it for us.
I think that's it.
All right. Make sure you subscribe, guys. Y'all have an awesome afternoon.
All right, guys.
Cheers.
Cheers, man. I got a beer.
All right.